Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Andrew Bailey, Governor of the Bank of England, was at a Treasury Select Committee meeting yesterday, and he had some fairly interesting things to say, particularly about digital currency. Bitcoin, but not Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a digital currency, but this one is the discussion of a central bank digital currency. In other words, a digital currency issued by the Bank of England. And he says, well, it's something we need to look into. But at this time, he says it's better, I think, to let private companies deal with this because obviously there's a lot of risks involved. And of course, there is one good hack, and you could break the entire country if everything was run on a digital currency. So let's not do that for the country. Let's just let private companies do it. And if anyone wants to invest in that, they do so at their risk. We can't, bet the farm on it or anything. This is quite right. But he said, and that's what his words were. He said, my view, if that's a success, this is talking about private company doing it, I question why we need to introduce a new form of money. Now, the thing is, though, the bureaucrats and the Treasury, they want a new digital currency, and they want one controlled by the Bank of England. And the reason is easy. Control, understanding, knowing where it's being spent. You won't be able to spend it where you want. It'll be only at approved sites, for example. In other words, they will know what you've got in your digital wallet. The whole point of digital currency is that nobody knows what you've got. Nobody knows where it's come from. Nobody knows where it's doing. Privacy. But of course, governments absolutely loathe the idea of privacy. They want to put their big noses into every aspect of your life. And it really annoys them that people are able to use Bitcoin, for example, or Dogecoin, or any other of these digital currencies, because they can't control it. They can't monitor it. And without that, they have no power at all over it. And they sit there fretting. Whereas if they invent their own one, then they can have complete control. And if you're a naughty boy and don't earn enough social credits, they can cut it off with a whim. Oh, yes, you've got money in your bank, but you can only spend it at that shop or that, that shop. Oh, your carbon footprint is too big this week. We're not allowing you to buy petrol with your Bitcoin. You see the dangers of governments interfering in things. Totalitarian state. Imagine, for example, how easy it would have been for Adolf Hitler if he'd have had, say, the genetic markers of every person in Germany. Wouldn't need to go to all the trouble of having teams go out and do questioning. He'd just get the computers to run and go, oh, line up all these people. Too much government, too much interference, too much knowledge, and bingo, you have a dictatorship. Thanks very much. Bye.